as a business owner, it's our job to run many different departments, but it's not our job to understand how to do absolutely everything. So who is the best person for this job? One of the things that letting agents really struggle with is outsourcing, like you say. It's strange because they feel that if they outsource it, someone's not going to do it right. They feel that they're going to muck it up and it's going to come back on them. So they have this mindset of, I'll just learn how to do it myself. And so you find letting agents that have to understand all the 170 pieces of legislation, qualified to degree level, running thousands of properties, and then spending their time learning Facebook ads, or learning how to manage a YouTube channel, or learning how to edit video, or social media, or whatever. I just think this is crazy. I know that as a business owner, it's our job to run many different departments, but it's not our job to understand how to do absolutely everything. So one of the things I've always believed in right since the beginning is outsource to experts. So who is the best person for this job? Now, I've made the mistakes the same as everybody else. I tried to do our Facebook ads for my business here, Agent Rainmaker, and I'll be honest, I did the ads for about 4 years and I thought I was good. I thought I was the bee's knees until I managed to make a fatal mistake and get my ad account shut down. All of a sudden, wake up journey, realised that actually I was pretty rubbish at it and somebody else would be much better. Outsourced it, and since then, the business flew because it was being done properly. I didn't have the time to invest in learning how to do it properly. There's so many nuances with Facebook ads and mistakes that you can make, as I learned the hard way. There's so many things you can fall foul of, whereas you pass it to an expert, they've got that covered because that is what they do. Video editing. I've been on social media since 2010. I was one of the first influencers in the letting agency space. I cannot edit a video. I have absolutely no idea how to edit a video. These cameras looking at me right now, I have absolutely no idea how to work those things. I don't need to, because I've always paid other people to do that, because my skill set is doing this, coaching people, is running businesses. My skill set is not learning how a DLR, SLR, or whatever they're called works on an average daily basis. And so I apply this to letting agency. Now, one of the unique things that seems to be unique anyway, that we've managed to do in the last, I would say 7 to 8 years, we've managed to take our letting agency businesses to half the staff they had before, but doubled the turnover in that period. The way we've managed to do that is by 2 forms of outsourcing. There's upper and there's lower. Okay, so there's the high level outsourcing. I call that expert outsourcing, where we've found experts that specialize in a thing and we've passed the complex stuff to them. And then you have low level outsourcing, which is lower level stuff like admin, VAs, people doing the viewings for you, people answering the phones for you, software, tech, NVQs, that sort of stuff. So you've got upper and lower. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to use social media as an example because we all dabble with social media one way, shape or not. Whether we tend to admit it or not, we all have a little play with it. One of the things I've noticed with the thousands of letting agents that I've coached is that they always seem to like to collect staff. It's a thing. They collect staff. So either do this thing themselves. And with social media, some people just went, I know, we're going to hire a 17-year-old because they understand social media. And income said 17-year-old that's used to playing on Facebook and Insta and all that sort of stuff, and they get them to do social media. But what that 17-year-old doesn't understand is the Facebook algorithms, doesn't understand your avatar, doesn't understand the messaging, doesn't understand hook headlines, doesn't understand offers, funnel pages, where they should direct the messages to, how to convert the call, hook, line and offer. They don't understand any of that stuff. And so usually it's an expensive exercise in achieving nothing. Then the business owner has a go at it. Usually, again, has a great go on social media, then doesn't do anything for a few weeks, and has another go on social media and then doesn't do anything for a few weeks again. And again, a great exercise in achieving nothing. Now, let's assume you actually find an expert that can actually create high value ads for you with hooks, offers, go into landing pages, are going to give a high value offer, which is going to convert people into booking a call. And you put some ad budget behind that, £10 a day, let's say, as you've made the ad, you put some budget behind it, and then you just sit there and you wait for the appointments to come in your diary, and you're getting 1 to 2 appointments a day. Doesn't that make more sense? And actually, that's cheaper than hiring a 17-year-old. With minimum wage now, you're going to be paying £20,000 a year, whereas, to hire an expert to do that, you're probably paying £500 a month. And it's just crazy that we spend so much money hiring, I'll be polite and say not experts, when really we should be paying less money and hiring experts. I'll give you another example. We had a YouTube channel, not this one, and we wanted to grow the subscriptions on our YouTube channel. And we'd played with it for a few years and it was growing really, really slowly. And I thought, should I hire someone who's an expert in YouTube? That was not really enough to hire someone. I'll find an expert. So I found the UK's leading expert in YouTube channels, and I paid this guy £800 a month for about 12 months. And he basically took our YouTube channel subscription from 2 to 10,000 followers at £800 a month. Now, I could have hired a 17-year-old. Would he have had the skill set to do that? No. Now, was it expensive to pay this guy who probably spent 2 hours a week on our YouTube channel, £800 a month? Yes, it was. But it's a bit like the analogy, isn't it, of the guy that comes out to fix the broken down ship, and they're sat there with this million-ton ship sitting there going nowhere, and this guy turns up and he says, I'll charge you £1 million to fix it, and they say, okay. He goes, bang, hits it with a hammer, and the thing starts working. They say, I'm not going to pay you £1 million for doing that. And they says, well, you paid me £1 million to know where to hit. And it's just like that here. You need to pay the right people that know exactly what they need to do to make that happen. You're basically paying for outcomes. So, for example, in our £1 million branch, only 6 staff, they outsource sales progression because the professional sales progressors are so much better than my team that are trying to do everything else. They outsource their ads creation. So they go to a company. It's actually one of my companies, but it's besides the point. We outsource it to one of my other companies for them to come and make the videos, to make the ads. We outsource the ads management so that the ads are then created. This is all billed across the company, so it's all billed correctly. We also outsource the property management, also one of my companies. There's a bit of a trend here, isn't there? But we outsource the property management so that the property management and client accounting is done remotely, so they don't have to do any of that. The tenant calls coming into the office was 250 calls a day. We've managed to get rid of that by using a bit of software called Agent Response, which is great. Got rid of those. And so we've looked at so many different ways we can just outsource. My team now basically is a sales team. All they do is deal with the 400 plus leads that come in every month, call setter, make appointments, the closers, and then close those deals. And that is basically all they do. Everything else is outsourced. Now, the lower level stuff, you can outsource to experts, but you can also outsource to lower level. And so we use a lot of VAs. You can get Filipino VAs, South African VAs, doesn't really matter where you get them from, but it's finding people that can do your basic admin, your maintenance follow-up, your call setting, all sorts of different things you can get them to do. But really use VAs to take off that lower level task. And now, of course, with AI, below VAs, you now have software. And so you can use bits like Convergence, for example, which will do the job of a VA. You can create all sorts of multiple applications using Lovable and Build It. There's so many different things that you can do now. With AI, you can really get a lot of the jobs done that even VAs are being too expensive now because AI and tech can do that for you. So you've got software, tech, AI underneath that can really make life a lot easier. So really, how do you basically get things outsourced? I think the key is to, number one, find the expert stuff that you really shouldn't be spending your time on and get that passed out to the relevant experts. Find the lower stuff to support your team so that your team can be focused on doing what they need to do. My philosophy, hire one great person instead of 3 average people. And if you find one great person, they will do the job of 3 average people because you've taken away all the noise and they can focus on what they want to do, and you can pay them double what the competition pays for that role. And which means you're going to get the best staff, you're going to get the best job done, the less amount of team, and the higher revenue and profit. So think about it. 3 persons' jobs done by 1 person, pay them twice, you're still quids in, more profit. So that's for me is outsourcing. High level, low level, get it off your desk, focus on what's important, and really just build a profitable business.